Welcome back to another Kids Sunday video. I'm so glad you came. I have been looking at lots of maps lately because I have a friend who is asking me if they should travel to a certain place. And so I have my globe here and I have my map because she's looking to find a place to go that has lots of water. Have you guys ever gone to a place with lots of water? Yeah, like the beach or the ocean. Sometimes you can go to a place like a lake and you can get on a boat, like this little boat right here. And so she was asking me, do you know a good place to go? And I said, I don't know. I got out my globe and I started searching. But then I also looked at the weather and guess what? It's supposed to storm all over the place. So it might not be a great idea to go on the water while it's storming. So I think that she's probably going to hold off on her trip for a while. And I'm glad you guys came to join us. Today we're going to be learning about a Bible story that's new. Jesus talked about miracles in the Bible stories that we're going to be learning over the next few weeks. So in today's Bible story, Jesus is going to perform a miracle. A miracle is something amazing that only God can do. And we're going to learn that there's some pretty cool stuff that happens. So in today's Bible story, he talks about calming a storm. So we're down here on our timeline. And before we get to our timeline, we're going to ask a question. Do you guys remember every time we learn a new set of Bible stories, we ask a big picture question. So I'm going to grab my question mark. Here it is. All right. Our new big picture question is, why did Jesus perform miracles? So I told you what a miracle is. A miracle is something amazing that Jesus did while he was on earth. So why do you think he did those things? Do you think he did those things so that he could ride on a boat all across the ocean? And if he performed a miracle, they would say, oh, you can come take a boat ride. Woo! Do you think that's why he did miracles? No. Jesus did miracles to glorify God, which means to show that God is so big and so strong, and to show people that he, Jesus, was the Son of God, and to care for people. Because Jesus loved people so much, a lot of times the miracles that he did were to care for them. So in today's Bible story, it's all three of those things: to glorify God, to show the people in our story that he was God's son, because only God could do today's miracle, and because he cared about the people in our story. So before we move on to story, I need you guys to get your listening ears on. All right, everybody get your listening ears on, because our story is next.
Jesus spent all day teaching crowds of people near the Sea of Galilee. That evening, Jesus wanted to cross over to the other side of the sea. So Jesus and his disciples left the crowds. They got into a boat and began sailing. Some of the people from the crowds followed in their own boats. While Jesus and his disciples traveled, Jesus fell asleep on a cushion at the back of the boat. All of a sudden, a storm came. The wind was strong and the waves crashed into the boat. Water was coming into the boat and the disciples were afraid. Many of the disciples were fishermen. They had survived storms on the sea before, but this storm was different. It was so strong. If the water kept coming in the boat would sink. Surely they would all drown. The disciples looked to Jesus for help, but Jesus was still fast asleep at the back of the boat. He didn't seem to even notice the storm. Did Jesus care if they were about to sink into the sea? The disciples woke up Jesus. "Lord, save us," they said. "We are going to die." Jesus opened his eyes and saw that his friends were afraid. He got up and spoke to the wind. Then Jesus said to the sea, "Silence! Be still." At the sound of Jesus' voice, the wind stopped blowing and the waves stopped crashing. Everything was calm. The disciples were safe. Jesus looked at his disciples and asked, "Why are you afraid? Do you still have no faith?" Did the disciples not trust Jesus to take care of them? The disciples were amazed. "Who is this man?" they asked each other. "Even the wind and the waves obey him." Jesus' disciples knew Jesus was a good man and a good teacher. But when Jesus calmed the wind and the waves, he showed his disciples that he is also God. God rules the sea and stills its waves.
Hi guys, what did you think about our Bible story today? It was pretty cool, wasn't it? Jesus performs an amazing miracle. Yeah, when Jesus was on earth, people didn't know who he was. In the Old Testament, the prophets would tell them that a Messiah is coming, but they didn't know who the Messiah would be, and they didn't recognize him. And Jesus spent 3 years ministering to the people. In our story today, Jesus was ministering to people, and he had been teaching all day long, so that's how he fell asleep. Have you guys ever slept through a storm? Sometimes, when there's a lot of lightning and thunder, and that's what was happening in our Bible story today. Jesus was sleeping through the storm. And it was so intense that Jesus' disciples, they didn't know what to do. They thought they were going to die. Where did they turn to? They turned to Jesus. And Jesus got up and he told the storm to stop. And the wind and the waves obeyed him. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. Can you guys control the wind or the waves? I wish I could, because then I could just tell the rain to water my garden in the summertime. That would save a lot of time. But yeah, no, we can't do those things. Only somebody like God can do that, because it's like a miracle. Jesus calmed the storm to show his disciples that he was God. And they were amazed. They knew that he was not an ordinary man because the wind and the waves obeyed him. Have you guys ever wondered, can I make the wind and waves obey me? No, you could never do that on your own. So the story helps us to see that Jesus was not like us. He doesn't wish that he can control the weather. He really does control the weather. And at his command, the wind and the waves stopped. Why did Jesus perform his miracles? Do you guys remember why? It was to show that he is the Son of God. And it's to show God's glory and to care for people. And in our story today, he definitely showed God's glory by making the wind and waves stop. And he cared for his people in the story because he didn't want them to drown. We often feel like we're in control of things. And as we grow up, it might be tempting to feel like we have more and more control of our life. Like if we had enough money or the right friends or the right toys, or if we had a really good job, or maybe if we thought that we were the president of the United States, we would have lots of power. But the Bible teaches that God is in control of all things. He is good, loving, and just. And we can trust that everything he does is for his glory and for our good. So, whenever we face difficult or scary situations, we can remember that God will use it for good. Just like if we had a storm in our own lives, if we feel like we're having stormy things, we sometimes get out an umbrella, don't we? Yeah, we get out an umbrella, poof, and it keeps us safe from the rain. And what if we in our normal life, instead of keeping things safe from the rain like an umbrella, what if we talk to God to bring us through our storms? God would be like this umbrella. He would come over us and he would protect us from the things that are scary to us. So just like an umbrella keeps us safe from the rain, God can be our protector and keep us safe from the storms of our life. Because there's a lot of storms in our life. Coronavirus is a storm in our life, or maybe we're arguing with a brother or sister, or maybe it's just that you're having a bad day. So there's lots of things that are in our life that can feel like storms. But I just encourage you guys, just like the followers looked to Jesus for help, we should be looking to Jesus for help to calm us during our storms. So I hope that you guys can find time this week to remember that Jesus will help us calm our storms in our life. You just have to seek him. Okay, we have a new friend to help us out with our memory verse this week. And it's a friend that likes to be in the water. So I hope you have fun. Let's see who it is.
Hi boys and girls, I'm Squiddy, and I love memorizing verses from the Bible. I'm going to be your helper this week, learning a new memory verse from the Bible. Our new memory verse is Psalm 45. It says, Lord my God, you put your arms up like my wiggly arms. You put them up like this. Lord my God, you have done many things. And your wondrous works and your plans for us. None, you shake your head, no, none can compare to you. Psalm 40, verse 5. Yeah. Alright. Did you guys know that squids live in the water? Ooh. And in our Bible story today, Jesus calmed a storm in the water. And I'm so glad to hear he can calm a storm because, it gets really floppy when the storms are coming for me and my arms are going everywhere. Oh. But this memory verse helps me remember that Jesus has a plan for us and he can calm a storm. Alright, let's do the motions again. Lord my God, you have done many things. Your wondrous works and your plans for us, none can compare to you. Yeah. Alright guys, keep practicing this verse. And until next time, let's do the squiddy dance. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle your squiddy arms. Woo, woo, woo. It's so fun. Yeah. Bye.
Hey guys, we're going to do craft time today. I hope that you've had fun learning about our Bible story. And today we learned that Jesus calms the storm. So we're going to make something that reminds us that Jesus can help us stay calm too if we come and ask him for our help. So we're going to make a little calming bottle. We're going to use a water bottle. So if you have a water bottle at home, grab a water bottle with water in it. We're also going to need some glitter maybe. I have some blue glitter. And some other things that you might want to put in this calming bottle are beads. So I have these beads right here. And it's really simple. This is what we're going to do. Okay. So you're going to open your water bottle first. And then take whatever items you want to add to your calming bottle. So I'm going to add these blue glitter. So I'm going to dump it in. And I'm going to add some of these beads. So I'm going to take them and I'm going to put them in my water bottle. Oh, and they're falling everywhere, but that's okay. I'm actually going to put a lot of these beads in just to make it very colorful. So after we put our items in our bottle, we of course close the lid real tight, okay? And I want to show you something cool. So do you see now everything's inside? Yeah. So in our Bible story today, we learned that there was a storm happening, okay? So in our storm, it's kind of like this. Everything's all crazy. But then, if we let it sit for a few minutes, everything kind of settles down in the bottom. And it kind of is calming to like look at your water bottle and see all these like things floating around. So, this is what we're gonna do this week for our craft. A calming jar, it's called. So I hope that you have supplies to do this. You can use anything you want to add to your calming jar, but glitter works best, and some beads and some other things, so that when you shake it up, they float around like this, and then calmly go to the bottom. Or in this case, mine are floating to the top. Not sure why. Well, I hope you guys had fun this week. Other things that you can do to remember our Bible story is you can reenact the Bible story. You can put a play on for your family, or you can draw pictures. And I hope that you remember the truth that we learned, that Jesus is God's Son and He can perform miracles. And that is just so awesome that He was able to calm the storm in today's Bible story. And so I'm going to finish our time today by praying. So as always, our hands we fold, our heads we bow, so we can talk to God just now. Dear God, thank you for this story, teaching us about you being the Son of God and how you can perform miracles, Lord. Thank you for bringing us here on this Sunday school video to learn more about you. I just pray for the boys and girls this week that they would remember this truth, that you are awesome and that you are God's Son. We love you, God. Amen. All right, guys, I hope you have a great week, and thanks for joining us for another Kids Sunday video. I'll see you next time. Bye.